KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
You wearing ratty jackets from Stephen Barry's. Praying one day Big Red will win the NIT.
Ham is the water of meats.
Ham the water of meats.
Ham is the water of meats.
Someone needs
For those of you who are watching along on our YouTube channel, you can see that this is Coach Boyfriend Week, or the Jack Mitchell Bowl. People forget that Jack Mitchell once played for the Northwestern Wildcats. Oh, his pot's not up there.
That is.
There it is.
Hey!
Oh, wow.
I was lip syncing with the song.
Oh, I see.
Fun.
Very easy graphic. But yes, as you can see, it is Coach Boyfriend Week.
Oh, and you know, if there's anyone who can get his team into a mental state to come into Lincoln and pull the upset here, you know, I know they've had a down year, but boy, what a reclamation project he is about to embark on. And boy, you got to watch out for Northwestern coming down the road in the Big Ten. They've obviously not played like you want them to, but I don't see any reason why they couldn't come out of the West and frankly go to the playoff at this point with the kind of coaching that we've seen from him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that would be a little difficult, but
no, I'd be stunned.
Nothing. Listen, John, this guy can coach his way out of any situation. As dire as it could possibly seem, he'll just coach harder and coach in a more likable sort of lunch pail type of way, and that's all you need. And
you think he could hold a 7-point lead with 4 minutes to go when your defense hasn't given up a first down yet? Do you think he could hold that kind of a lead?
Oh yeah. He leaves everything out there. He'll he's obviously not afraid to show that he's got faith in his team, and the kids love him for it. And I got to also mention they've got a view of the lake from their practice facility, and a lot of people don't know how that factors into close games, but the kids can kind of think, hey, we can see a lake when we practice. I'm going to punt this the right direction.
I'm honestly surprised, Jack. I did not expect you to be so chipper.
Well, I mean, what can we do? I mean, what can I do? What am I supposed to do at this point?
I didn't think you'd be this chipper.
I mean, listen, Matt was like 8 steps ago, Josh. I mean, I don't even.
I got something for you then, Jack, because
to make you mad. Here we go.
Well, I mean, maybe on Saturday I tweeted, because a listener asked, how loud will the Firebirds be after this loss? I guarantee that people want him gone. I've become obstinate about this team. And I said, honestly, I haven't heard a whole lot of Fire Frost calls or tweets, but part of me thinks that's because there's an assumption that this thing is done anyway. So why need to say it out loud? You responded yesterday. Oh man, I can't wait to talk to you about this tomorrow. I have takes.
Okay, number one, do you really think that's why you're not hearing it? Do you really think there's that many people that assume it's coming?
Yes, I do.
Like I'd be interested if you guys do one of your polls, typical Bishop Bob poll.
Bishop.
Do you expect Scott Frost to be the coach after this year?
If you hang around for another 35 minutes or so, you might see one of those polls.
Okay, well, I'm just saying it's not that I'm not doing it because you'll hear that I'm not suggesting that in a minute, but I'm honestly curious in what the perception is. Okay. Because go ahead.
I was just going to say I have gathered that even the biggest Scott Frost supporters, that they kind of know where this thing is going, and they're
really
yes, not that they want it to happen, but you haven't sensed that there is just like this depression that has reached the fan base because they think like Trev is probably going to pull the trigger.
I mean, I think there's a depression. I don't think Trev's going to pull the trigger. I don't think he is, nor do I think he should. And I said this. And listen, you guys know I'm generally criticized for being too hard on Frost, okay, about stuff that most people don't care about. But I've leaned that way in terms of the criticism I've got, at least when I've been on your show. That said, I still stick by what he said when he got hired in 2018. Unless he commits a felony, I think he needs to be here a decade. And
Yikes.
Yeah.
That's a lot of special teams gaffes.
I'm sorry.
A lot of bad offensive line play.
I think I believe that, and I guess you can revisit this again in a month from right now, but I believe there is no chance this program is in a better place if they go through another transition after this year. And I also believe, along with the frustrations, the special teams gaffes, the offensive line, beyond that, this team is unquestionably better than it was last year. This team is unquestionably better overall on most of the, quote, hard stuff than they were last year or at the beginning of this year. There's improvement there that I haven't seen. And again, I know nobody's going to go right away to the special teams, go to the problems. They're huge problems. They're not
Offensive line.
fixed. Right. They're not getting fixed. I get it. But you take that offensive line unit out of there, you use every other unit on offense or defense is better than I thought they would be right now. Legit. Maybe with the exception of running backs, but beyond that, every unit other than the offensive line is better, and the in-game scheming, the game planning is better than I've ever seen it right now. So again, it's not
game management.
Game management before the clock hits the 3-minute mark. That's been a problem. I think game planning.
We did not see a wasted timeout. This time we saw 2 timeouts that were left in the bag. So we went from one extreme to the other.
Yeah, you've got that, but I also think, I think the reason that Oklahoma game was so close was because of the game plan in that game. I thought Lincoln Riley was generally outcoached in that game from a schematic situation. So, and again, I know everybody's going to, the people who want a change, who are mad, are going to act like I'm some kind of a homer for Scott Frost, which I've never been. The Scott Frost, like the always Frost people, which you guys know,
the Frostafarians,
the people who like Frost more than the program, which I believe, or like Frost more than winning. Yeah. I'm really critical of them. I get in fights with them all of the time. But I am seeing, man, I know this is just going to sound stupid. I know people are going to poo-poo it. I am seeing more improvement right now in things that matter, things that are important, things that are hard to improve than I've seen in his entire career so far. And I mean, man, it feels like they're closer than they've ever been. I mean, the special team stuff, all of that stuff, absolutely inexplicable. I have absolutely no idea how that doesn't get fixed. That's an absolute black eye on the whole analysis that I'm giving, but I don't think it's everything.
I understand where you're coming from. I'm not necessarily disagreeing, because there are things that there have been noted improvements. I guess my concern is that there are, to me, special teams is a barometer for just the overall, and I hate this damn word because we overuse it, the overall culture of a program. And I think culture is something that, you got to establish. You can't build something without a foundation. The foundation of this program has been laid. We can argue over how good the foundation is, but the foundation of the program under this coaching staff has been laid. My concern is that because you have some of these things that are, to me, barometers for attention to detail, for attention to, the little things, for attention to fundamentals, that those things are still propping up in amazingly embarrassing ways is great concern to me. And those aren't things that necessarily just, they're gone. It's fixed. And you made a good point. You made good points about, there are things that Nebraska has improved in that are not easy to improve. But then on the other side, there are things that should be basic and fundamental that should be better, that are not better, and in fact
have regressed,
getting worse.
Yeah. They're for some reason they can't fix the easy stuff, but they're doing better at most of the hard stuff. That again, I said this to you guys last week when I talked. If you I'm no football coach, but if you drop me in and say, all right, Jack, here's your choices. You can come in as a new football coach, right? You can scheme the defense, right? You can take this defense against like an Oklahoma or a Michigan State with leading rusher, or you can tell the punter to punt the right direction. Which would you like? Or you can tell the right guard, you can make sure the right guard on extra points actually blocks and doesn't fall over backwards. Right. Or you can make sure the punt returners either catch the ball or have a spot where they drop it. I mean, those are easy. Those are easy things. And no, John, but I don't buy your premise though that special teams is somehow the biggest sort of leading indicator of the culture of a team. Forget that. It's defense and offense.
But Jack, isn't the I read an article this morning again from January where special teams was a huge conversation. Firing somebody and bringing in a special teams coordinator. The lack of detail to that doesn't really irk you that they have been one of the worst teams in the country over the last 3 years. And they were like, hey, yes, we'll run it back and we're going to do it again our way, even though their way sucks.
It irks me. Yes, correct. It does irk me. It doesn't irk me. It doesn't irk me to the point that I am certain that you need to make a change in the head coach because of it though. But yeah, it's inexplicable. I don't get it. It's crazy. Yeah, Josh. If you don't know that it irked me, you should have been with me after that punt. If you're ever considering it didn't irk me, I wish you had been sitting by me and seen if it irked me. Oh, goodness, yes, did it irk me. I was in I can't believe it. I can't believe that can crop up again. It's inexcusable. It's ridiculous. I have no idea how that's happening. But it's part, to me, it's still a part of the larger equation when you're evaluating. You're kind of putting things and you're weighing things about how you look at this program, and you're 3-4 under Scott Frost.
It's interesting, man, because the reaction so far, has been very split. Jordan says they've improved the important things, Jack. I think the win-loss ratio is most important. Sean says 100% agree with Jack. We need to see this whole thing through. Amazing Daniel, I mostly agree with Jack. I think Josh is wrong about us being resigned to Albert's pulling the trigger. I think it's the opposite. I think we all assume there's one more season. Adam says I'm a big fan of Jack. Just strongly disagree. I don't see how you can keep Frost if this team doesn't make a bowl this season.
Well, and again, I guess you can ask me at the end of the year, and maybe I'll change my mind. But I'm not there yet, because honestly, I'm going to get killed for saying this stuff. But honestly, I look at the rest of the schedule, and I think they're going to a bowl. They're going to a bowl. I'll say it right now. They're getting 6 wins. They're going to bowl. And here's the thing. I think out of those 4 games that you consider so you got 3 wins, right? Or 2 wins. 2. So you got 2. 6. So you got 3 of them that you're going to be favored in, right? Probably Purdue, Northwestern, and Minnesota. Most likely.
I don't know about Minnesota. It'll be close.
You're right. Minnesota's been looking good
lately. It's basically a coin flip right now. But okay,
I'll
give you that one.
All right, so 3. Saying 3, you should win. Okay, we can agree whether they're favored or not. 3, you should win if you have any
winnable games. We use that.
I know. So you got 3.
All right, so I'm giving you those 3. All right. So now you need to find one out of Michigan, Ohio State, Wisconsin, Iowa.
Half those teams probably suck also. That's the thing. I think they're winning 2 out of those 4. I think they're winning. Listen, I know every time there's a new week, I say there's no way it can go on, and it does. I still believe there's no way it can keep happening. And if and when it doesn't, provided the defense plays like it's been playing and the offense plays basically like it's been playing with some slight improvements, they're going to win. They're going to win a lot of those games. I know what you're all saying, but I'm going to be right, and you're all going to look stupid.
That's a great drop.
So do you believe in the whole needing a spark, wind underneath their wings, got to have a bounce go their way? It sounds like you kind of buy that.
Yeah,
that all it takes is one thing to get them going, and then it'll be, the rocket ship will take off.
Honestly, I should, but I can't believe these special team, just the weirdness of it is going to continue. I can't.
But they are trending. It literally happens now in every game.
I know. It just at some point,
can't we accept that this is who they are in that department?
This is no. This is disproving everything about this team is disproven the law of averages forever. The law of averages is going to come in sometime with just a vengeance in Nebraska's favor for a long time. But I just think. I get it. I get that it loses games. I get that it's unthinkable. I get that it's frustrating as well. But it's also a situation where it is it still seems fixable to me. It should be fixable. If it's not for the entire year, that's just unbelievable, to be honest. And it's unbelievable right now. But it's just bizarre that people discounting the fact that the defense is playing better than anyone ever could have dreamed in their wildest fascinations, and we're already optimistic about this defense. That Eric Chenander, who Josh would have fired 7 times over through this whole thing, and just
he's not lying.
And came in as kind of the afterthought when you talked about all the assistant coaches on this, is evidently doing an amazing job. And then I think Adrian Martinez looks better than he ever has. You had the errors, you had those sorts of things, but man, I can't throw all that stuff away. I can't throw away the fact that there were times in that game where I was like, Michigan State has no chance in this game. Michigan State is like a contender I just saw a projection for a 12-team playoff, and Michigan State is like the number 6 team in the thing for the whole thing. I mean,
what?
The teams aren't. I don't know what I was reading, but whatever. You know what I'm talking about. I mean,
I didn't know Mad Magazine still existed, but please continue.
Well, I mean, why are we talking about going to Wisconsin? Never mind. I'm just talking in circles here at this point.
So I have a serious question for you. Does your opinion change if they don't get to 6 like you think they will? Is this because this is a conversation? Like. In the end, it's going to age terribly for one of us because it's September 27th. But I do wonder how much of this is you projecting that they're going to turn it around versus me projecting that they're not going to turn it around.
That's part of it. But if they're
5-7 again,
first of all, I tried to look up the APR ratings the other day to see if they could squeak.
If they're 4-8.
Oh God! By the way, I'm going to go on here. I'm going to go on the record right now.
I'm going to disagree with whatever he says.
Our bowl bid, that's not going to factor into anything. It's going to be as if they are playing. Well, it is an exhibition game, but I'm not counting APR bowl bids in my justification for whether or not to keep or let go of a coach.
So, Josh, you're talking 4-8. 4-8, meaning 2 wins, probably. I assume
probably this weekend in Purdue would be the most likely.
So hypothetically, Northwestern and Purdue, and the rest are all losses.
Yeah.
That would be
16-28.
I'd be closer to 50-50 on it, but I still, though, Josh,
But how much of this you just don't want to do this? You hate coaching changes.
Look what it's done for the last decade to this program, Josh. It's killed it. It's just. Oh my gosh, how can you? It has been literal hell because of constant coaching changes.
Don't you also have to weigh, though, the literal results? Like, this is a senior-laden defense with a fourth-year quarterback, and if this group can't make it to a bowl, you're not like, this isn't the best that they can do?
Because, oh, by the way, next year could look a lot different.
I mean, I think all of that has to matter. It's not like this team is full of freshmen at every position. There are 6. How many 6-year guys are there on the defense?
Josh, the offensive depth chart, 3 deep, has 1 senior on it. One. Yeah. One Samari Toure.
The offensive depth chart sucks. The offense is bad.
No, I'm just talking. You were just talking in terms of age, about the age. The offensive depth chart loses 1 person on that depth chart. Defensively, you get hit with Cam Taylor-Britt and basically the secondary. But beyond that, Cam Taylor-Britt's a junior, actually. He's not even a senior at this point.
He's now a 4th-year junior.
There's a chance, though, he'll be in the draft next year. I would say there's a much better than 50-50 chance he's in the draft.
I guess, Jack, I'm just looking at it from
more
by
coaching changes. I'm burned by.
I know. I can tell.
I'm burned by the 3-year wait after coaching changes, and yet it hasn't ever panned out. And even if it does pan out, I'm burned on the 3-year wait. I feel like there's a better chance that you slowly build it up here. I do, and it's not because I'm in love with
Pittman's the answer.
What? Hey, that'd be a great hire.
Sam Pittman at Arkansas.
That'd be an awesome hire.
Year 2. Look at what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's the thing. It's like you see this happening all over the country. You know.
Listen, I understand. I understand both your sides. I really do. But I do want to get to this before we wrap, because I saw you tweet something today. You were on with Dirk Chatlin. You had him on your show.
Mm-hmm.
This loss didn't even rank in the top 25 of most groin kickable losses since 2001. How in the hell is that even possible?
I know, but Dirk did this column last year where he ranked the top 100 most painful losses since 2001, since that Colorado game.
Yes.
And so I was like, oh man, I'm actually curious. I was talking to him, so I pulled the article up, and I was like, this has to be. I would have guessed top 10, top 15 at worst, but then I started going off him. I was like, yeah, no, that was actually worse. Yeah, no, that was actually worse. It just shows how bad it's been. Where this probably isn't, in my opinion, the most top 25 most painful loss that I've been through in 20 years.
That's crazy because I think that was the worst loss of the Frost era so far. That was the one that hit me the hardest.
I don't know that there were. Can't remember if there were a whole lot more in the Frost era that were on that list. There might have been.
The worst in my lifetime is it's either 09 Texas, 06 Texas, or oddly enough, 09 Virginia Tech. Those are the three that eat me alive still.
Those were all worse. Colorado in 2001 was worse. I mean, there were more. There was more on the line, and for a while there was more on the line on a lot of those games.
Yeah.
The 06 Big 12 title game.
Hang on, I'm trying to bring up the list because I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious.
I linked it on that tweet. Tell me which ones you disagree with.
I'm on the
maybe
wrong
I'll change my
browser.
mind.
I'm on the wrong browser. Sorry.
Jack, you've been accused of being high on weed, high on crack, and also drunk today. I just wanted to do it.
I knew it.
Not by me.
Man. No, I can see. I got 1,000. Here I am. Here's who's saying a coaching change is a 3-year wait, says Jordan. I don't know, but that's what I get every time there is one. I mean,
right, but the next one doesn't have to be the same as always. That's all right. I will. Here's the list. Texas 2009 obviously is huge. Colorado 2001 is obviously huge.
Yes.
See, I have a different view. I kind of have a different view of losses. Okay.
The ass whooping ones.
To me, the losses where you have the game won and it's taken away from you or you give it away are always going to be more painful than Wisconsin 70-31.
Agreed.
Always.
Agreed.
Because at some point, generally early in the game, which with that one, it was generally early in the game.
We knew in the first quarter.
You knew they were done. You knew they were toast.
I would only disagree.
I immediately throw all those blowouts towards the back of the line.
I would disagree with you as it pertains at least to 2001 Colorado. That was a special kind of.
That was a special one, and I will agree with you. I will agree with you on that.
Okay. So what else?
Oklahoma 2010.
Yes.
That one's competitive. Red Out Around the World.
No, that game sucked.
No, that was a terrible game. Wisconsin 2014 again, blowout. Texas 2004, blowout. Kansas State 2003, blowout. Oklahoma 2007.
They didn't play Oklahoma 2007.
Yeah, they did. That was Oklahoma State. Sorry, Oklahoma State 2007. That actually was a good blowout because that's the game that got PD fired. So I look at that more positively than others. USC 2007.
No,
all the eggs in the basket
blowout.
game.
Yeah.
It
didn't hurt. I mean, it sucked.
This one to me, in a fan opinion like mine, when you have a game won. Jack, I was driving home listening to the third and fourth quarters. I got home in time to watch the punt.
Radio.
Because I was coming back from a remote.
Radio.
I was already formulating in my head.
What would life be?
What basically the points you just made here in the last 20 minutes about how Nebraska is not only in position to make a bowl game, they could make a play at the division. They could make a play. I'm formulating this in my head. And then this game falls apart. Those are the worst type of losses. The games you have and then let get away. Those are the worst.
All right. Well, then.
That's my opinion. You have yours.
Right. That may be. But I think when there was more riding on a lot of those games and rivalries, teams you specifically wanted to beat because you hated them, all of those things as well.
But Jack, Michigan State got the what did we give them the Tiger Woods NIL?
The NFT.
The NFT. They got the NFT.
Yeah,
they didn't even get the NFT.
We got the NFT, folks.
Bad. Next year, that's going back on our hard drives. I'll tell you that right now.
By the way, what would the NFT be of?
For this game?
Would it be a screenshot of the entire punt unit going down to the bottom of the screen? Wall. I mean, it should be. That's what it should be.
Jack, I'm just getting sick of your narrative trying to take down the program.
Exactly. My narrative trying to get Frost out of there.
Yeah.
I know.
That is the crazy thing about my position. He's annoyed the crap out of me with a whole bunch of stuff over the last 3 years.
I know.
And I've complained about it on your show, and it's kind of about he brought up UCF again today. Not UCF when he was coaching there, 97 UCF.
People forget that he got benched for Frankie London.
Benched.
Yeah. Wasn't it a planned thing, right?
Yes, it was planned.
Thought so.
Oh man,
It was planned.
You know what?
I'm going to
say I'm going to save all of these tweets. I'm looking at you, Jordan. I'm looking at you, Kate, and this is definitely not something I would ever do.
No, and then save all these, and
then in 2026, when the new coach is on the hot seat. No, 2025, when the new coach, Gary Patterson,
on the next coach,
Gary Patterson, or what's his name, the Kansas coach, they bring him in here. That's probably the next thing they'll do, is get what's his name from
Charlie Weiss, maybe.
No, they're going to go after what's his name, who's at Kansas now. That's who the next one.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's the next thing. Leopold, right?
Yeah, Lance Leipold, yeah.
Whatever. They're getting him. It'll be 3 terrible years. He'll be on the hot seat. You guys all want to fire him. I said we probably better just see this thing out. And then we're going through it again in 2026. And who's that in 2026? Then we'll probably go back through the whole thing and everybody like Mike Riley available. That might be a good hire.
Well, I'm sad that this had to ruin Coach Boy.
The love of firing coaches, the absolute love of firing coaches is so bizarre.
People just want the program to be good again, Jack.
That's my point.
And on that note, we say
I've been here the last 20 years.
We gotta go to break.
Bye, Jack.
We'll see you later.
Nick's been telling us to go to break in the private chat.
We'll
Sorry.
be back after this on 1620 The Zone. See you, Jack.
Hey, everyone. Josh Peterson here for Miracle